Okay, we're ready to get started. What we're going to do first is to start taking parts off the machine prior to vacuuming. So very first thing I'm going to do is take the spool pin out. This machine is supposed to come with two. One fits up here in the pattern door and one fits over here. This one only came with one, and the other 338 I had only came with one too. So if you need another one, So Classic I think does sell them. If you don't have any, you will need to get another one, but go ahead and set that aside in the bin. The top comes off with two screws. One is right here, one is right here. I've gone ahead and taken them out. I'm going to put them in the bin. To get the top off, flip up the pattern lid here, or the disc lid, and pull the top off after you take out the screws. Make sure you watch out for the pressure knob here, because it's a little hard to wiggle around, and set the top aside. And looking down in here, we can see old grease that needs to come out. We can see the wiring to the light. The wiring looks good. That's something very important to check out. Want to make sure there's no exposed wire there. There's more grease down here that needs to get cleaned out. You can see it splattered against the side of the wall of the machine down here. It'll need a good wipe down. I can also see the belt. The belt has some significant wear. I'll have to get another belt. That's no big deal. We'll get another belt from So Classic, and it'll be easy to change out on this machine. Taking off the side panel over here is really easy. There's a nut, and the panel comes right off. I'm going to put that in the bin too. Alright, and looking at this area down here, I have already actually vacuumed and done some cleaning on this machine. I did an original video. The video didn't work out so well. It ran a little long, and so this machine has been a little bit cleaned up, but you can see there are areas that will need some extra attention where lint can build up. So you'll want to vacuum out in there really well. Now we'll go ahead and take out, there's a bobbin that's in here, and we need to take out the needle plate and the foot. So down here we're going to open up the bobbin case and take out the bobbin that's inside the machine. This bobbin had 4 or 5 different layers of thread on there. I see that a lot on old bobbins. Please don't do that, because it'll mess up your tension every time. There have been some that has been, they've been as much as 10 or 12 different threads on one bobbin, and I'm sure it makes sense for trying to mend, but it doesn't make sense for tension. So go ahead and take off any thread that you find on any bobbins inside of the machine. Put that in the bin too. The foot comes off. There's a little screw right here. Go ahead and unscrew that. Take the foot off the machine. Grab that nut, or the nut tube, the screw tube, and put it in there. If you have a needle in the machine, go ahead and take it out by undoing the screw there. Take the needle out and toss the needle. Don't worry about saving the needle. You'll want fresh needles anyhow. The needle plate comes up really readily by just pushing up on the right hand side. There's a spring-loaded button over here on the right that holds it in place, so it's easy to take out. We'll set it aside too. When you look down into the bobbin area, you're going to probably see a lot of lint, especially up around the feed dogs. So you want to pay special attention to that whenever you go and vacuum. You may find lint stuck down into the grooves right here and right here. The toothbrush comes in really handy whenever you need to get down into those areas because they're pretty deep. The feed dog teeth can hold some lint too. The bobbin case itself is right here, and to take that out, we're going to use this little tab right here and pull it up over the screw, which is what holds it in place. So I'm going to use my thumb to pry that up and move it to the side. And the case comes out. If you will pull it a little bit to the right and up, it slides right out. There's a little knob back here that this notch rides in. Putting that in the bin. And down in here is where you want to spend a good amount of time vacuuming. If you have a step-down attachment for your vacuum, one of the micro attachments, those things are great for getting down in these small spaces. But pay a good amount of attention down in here, back behind the feed dogs, around the feed dogs. giving that a good clean. Go ahead and shut this. Oops, gonna flip that up. Oh, I forgot to take out the pattern disc. This is important too. Go ahead and remove any pattern disc that's in there. If your machine didn't come with any pattern disc, it may have the zigzag. It'll have to have the zigzag pattern disc in order to do a zigzag, by the way. So I'll go ahead and set those aside, and you can see a little better down into here to see the two gears up top. This is the worm gear, and there's another gear right here, and we'll need to pay some attention to those to wipe that out. And the bottom has a really simple nut. This one has two nuts. I don't think the other one did. We'll take this nut off. There's a felt washer. And the second nut, which maybe childproofing may just, I really don't know. I don't remember the other one having a second nut, but maybe they do. Set that aside. Go ahead and take the drip pan cover off. And you can see down into the bottom of the machine. This is a felt pad that's attached to the metal drip plate. You can replace that if yours is missing, or if it's really gross, they should be available for this machine. It's an inexpensive machine. I'm not going to worry about the drip pad right now. If I decide to keep it or want to sell it, I might look to get a drip pad for it, but it's in pretty good shape. It was covered in lint and dust bunnies whenever I first opened it up, though, so make sure you give this a good vacuum and a wipe down when you ever get to that point. So we're looking up inside of the machine, and you can see the arm that moves the bobbin, the hook for the bobbin, and the arm that moves the feed dogs, and those come back over here. The motor is up in here. Here is the AC adapter, or the plug for the power. Whenever you go to oil, you want to avoid anything with the power. So this, and the light area up top. But whenever you're going to vacuum, make sure you try to get up into these areas, because lint will build up. Especially it wanted to build up around where the outside of the motor was, and down around the bobbin area. So go ahead and make sure you give that a very thorough vacuum. Like I said, if you've got one of those step-down attachments, go ahead and get up into here as much as you can. Once you're done with the vacuuming, make sure you go ahead and vacuum off your pieces that you've taken off too. Those are important.